Dear first become students, now I am going to discuss on the supply of money. In the last video, I have discussed about the demand for money. The next topic is supply of money. Supply of money is one important concept in the monetary system of every economy. Supply of money is one important concept in the financial system of the every economy because supply of money is influence on the various economic activities in its own manner. With the help of supply of money, we can easily understand the growth of the economy, growth of the economic activities, monetary policy of the central bank, rate of interest, public or the desire of the people towards the money supply, towards the demand for money, etc. So therefore the concept of money supply is one important concept in the monetary policy. Supply of money refers to the total stock of money. Supply of money refers to the total stock of money or total volume of money which held by the people in the economy in a given period of time is the supply of money. I repeat, supply of money refers to the total volume or total stock of money held by the people of a country at a given time is the supply of money. This supply of money exclude the central bank and the central government and the commercial banks who are essentially the producers of money. The money with the central bank, money with the central government and money with the commercial banks does not include in the money supply, but money supply include only the money which held by the publics at a given time. On the other hand, money supply is also known as the quantity of money which is circulating in the economy except the money which is held by the central bank, central government and the commercial banks. This is the meaning of money, meaning of supply of money. ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರ ಬಳಿ ಇರುವ ಹಣವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ಹೊಂದಿರುವ ಹಣವನ್ನು, ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹೊಂದಿರುವ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಹಣವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಹಣವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಅಂಶಗಳಿವೆ. ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ ಸಪ್ಲೈ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಟೂ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ money supply. They are traditional view and second one is modern view. Traditional view consisting two things, they are currency plus coins. It is a narrow concept. Traditional view is a narrow concept because it consisting only currency and coins. Modern view, it is a broad concept because it consisting monetary instrument. Now we are in the electronic money. Now we are in the age of cashless economy. Now we are in the era of plastic money and also in the era of various financial instrument like debit card, credit card, ATM card, checks, demand draft, shares, treasury bills, bills of exchange, bonds, securities, etc. These all the things are there in the modern view. So therefore traditional view is a narrow concept because it consisting only currency and coins, and modern view consisting monetary instrument, therefore it is a broad concept. The next step in the supply of money is that definitions of money supply in India. Definitions of money supply in India. See, up to 1967 to 1968, up to 1967-68, the Reserve Bank of India used to adapt only the narrow measures of money supply, that is M1. From 1967-1968, RBI started to use broad measures. Since April 77, RBI adopted M1, M2, M3, M4 in the supply of money in India. So, in the definitions of money supply in India, there are four things. They are M1, M2, M3, M4. Here M1 is known as narrow money. M1 is known as narrow money because it consists in currency and coins. M1 consisting only currency and coins. It exclude cash with the banks. M1 is equal to currency and coins. That's all. Please remember, M1 is equal to currency and coins. It is a narrow money because it consisting only currency and coins. It excluding the cash with the banks. Second point, M2. M2 is equal to M1 plus M1 plus post office savings. M2 is equal to M1. I already told you, M1 means currency plus coins. Here M2 is equal to M1 plus post office savings. Actually, we are deposit in the post office in the saving account. How we are deposit our money in the saving account in the commercial bank, in the similar manner we are depositing our money, our unexpenditured money in the saving account in the post office. That is there in the M2. M3 is a broad money. I was telling you M1 is the narrow money because it consisting only currency notes and coins. M3 is the broad money. It consisting M1 plus time deposits or term deposit or fixed deposits. I repeat, M3 is equal to M1 plus term deposit. It is also known as broad money. Fourth point is M4, broadest money. M4 is equal to M3. M3 means what? M1 plus time deposit. So therefore, M3 plus total deposit. M4 is equal to M3 plus all types of deposits. So therefore, M4 is considered as a broadest money. All these things are there in the money supply in India. So next step in the supply of money is that determinants of supply of money. Determinants of supply of money. Determinants of the supply of money. ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಧರಿಸುವ ಅಂಶಗಳು ಅಂತ. ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಧರಿಸುವ ಅಂಶಗಳು ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬೀರುವ ಅಂಶಗಳು ಯಾವುವು? ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಇನ್ ಎ ಗಿವನ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. Sometime the volume of supply will be more, in another time value of supply money will be less. Why? Because various factors are behind the volume of supply of money in the economy. These factors are known as determinants of supply of money. The one important point in the determinants of supply of money is that monetary base. the very important point in the determination of value, in the determination of supply of money in the economy or in the financial system of a country is that monetary base. Here monetary base refers to the supply of funds available for use either as cash or reserves of the central bank. I repeat, monetary base refers to the supply of funds available for use either as cash or reserve of the central bank. Here monetary base also include the following things. They are monetary gold. Second point is reserve assets. This include government securities, bonds, bills of exchange, treasury bills, etc. And third point is amount of central bank credit outstanding. So this is the factor influencing on the determinants of the supply of money. The second point is reserve ratio. The another important point in the determination of supply of money in the economy, that is reserve ratio. This include CRR, cash reserve ratio, and statutory liquidity ratio, and repo rate and reverse repo rate. If the CRR or if CRR and SLR and repo rate is less, then the supply of money will be more. If the CRR or SLR and repo rate is more, then the supply of money will be less. That's all. ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೀಸಲು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಅಂತೇಳಿ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂರು ಅಂಶಗಳಿವೆ: ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋ CRR ಮತ್ತು SLR ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿನ ನಿಯಮಾನುಸಾರ ಪ್ರತಿ ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳು ತಾವು ಸಂಗ್ರಹಿಸಿದ ವಿವಿಧ ರೀತಿಯ ಠೇವಣಿ ಹಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು CRR ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಹಣವನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಬಳಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು SLR ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ರೇಪೋ ರೇಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ಯಾವ ಬಡ್ಡಿ ದರದಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತದೆ, ಈ ಅಂಶಗಳು ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಧರಿಸ್ತವೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ CRR ಮತ್ತು SLR ಮತ್ತು ರೇಪೋ ರೇಟ್ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಇದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. And third point in the determination of the supply of money is that monetary policy. See, monetary policy, you should know what do you mean by monetary policy before going to discuss how the monetary policy influence on the determination of the supply of money. Monetary policy is the policy of the central bank. Monetary policy is the policy of the central bank regarding supply of money, circulation of money, determination of CLR, determination of CRR, determination of SLR, determination of bank rate, and quantitative measures, qualitative measures of the central bank is called monetary policy. I repeat, monetary policy is the policy of the central bank regarding on the various financial matter, that is the monetary policy. When the central bank of a country design appropriate monetary policy, then that will not adversely affect on the supply of money. Supply of money will be appropriate. When the Reserve Bank fail to formulate appropriate monetary policy, definitely there will be inconvenience in the supply of money. In case if the supply of money increase behind the requirement, that will leads to inflation. If the supply of money is less behind the requirement, then that leads to deflation. So supply of money is based on the monetary policy of the central bank. Next, fourth point is real income. Real income. So real income means the purchasing capacity of nominal money is the real income. So this real income determines the supply of money. So please try to understand the meaning of real income. Real income is the purchasing capacity or the purchasing power of nominal money is a real income. For example, 10 rupee is the nominal money. How much quantity of goods and services can purchase with the help of 10 rupee is the real money, is the real income. How much quantity of goods and services we can purchase with the help of 10 rupees is a real income. 10 rupee is a nominal money. With the help of, just assume with the help of 10 rupee we can buy 2 kg of rice. This is the purchasing capacity of the 10 rupees. This is a 10 rupees a nominal money. With the help of 10 rupee, we can purchase 2 kg of rice. This is a purchasing capacity of 10 rupee. In case, if we purchase only with the help of, if we able to purchase only 1 kg of rice with the help of 10 rupees, then that says the purchasing capacity of nominal money decrease. On the other hand, if we able to purchase 4 kg of rice with the same 10 rupee, then we can understand the purchasing capacity or the real income of the money increase. So this real income influenced on the determination of supply of money. If the real income increase in the, I repeat, increase in the real income tends to increase in the money supply. That's all. Increase in the real income tends to increase in the money supply and vice versa. It means decrease in the real income tends to decrease in the money supply. That's all. Next, fifth point is in the determination of the supply of money, that is public desire to hold currency. Public desire to hold currency. If the people desire to hold more currency with them, that reduces circulation of money. If people do not have any desire to hold more money, that will increase the supply of money. ಅಂದರೆ ಡಿಸೈರ್ ಟು ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ, ಜನರು ಹಣವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಬಯಕೆ ಅಂತ, ಜನರು ಹಣವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಬಯಸುವುದು ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಜನರು ತಮ್ಮ ಬಳಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹಣವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಬಯಸಿದರೆ ಆಗ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಜನರು ತಮ್ಮ ಬಳಿ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಬಯಸುವುದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಆಗ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ 5,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಹಣ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 5,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಹಣವನ್ನು ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಬಳಿಯೇ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಆಸೆಯನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸಿದರೆ ಆಗ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ದೇಶದ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ನಾನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು community desire or confidence. The another important point in the determination of the supply of money is that community desire or confidence. See, during a recession or during economic depression, the confidence of the public in bank money is low. As a consequences, the supply of money will be decrease. I repeat, during a economic recession, the confidence of the public in bank money is low. As a consequences, supply of money will be less. On the other hand, during economic inflation, the confidence of the public in bank money will be more. As a consequence, the supply of money will be increased. This is another point in the determination of supply of money. The seventh point is interest ratio. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡ್ಡಿಯ ದರ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಬಡ್ಡಿಯ ದರ ಅಂತ ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಬೀರುತ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೇಟ್ ವಿಚ್ again influence the money supply. An increase in the interest rate will reduce the reserve ratio, thus increase the money supply. I am repeat, an increase in the interest rate will reduce the reserve ratio, thus increase the money supply, and vice versa. ಅಂದರೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿಯ ದರ ಅಧಿಕವಾದರೆ ಮೀಸಲಿನ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ, ಆಗ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಅಧಿಕವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳಿಂದ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಾಲ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆ ಸಾಲದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿಯ ದರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಾಲ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ. ಆಗ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ಆಗ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದರೆ, ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿ ದರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬಡ್ಡಿಯ ದರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ 1,00,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಹಣ ಇದೆ, ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡ್ಡಿಯ ದರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಆಗ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಡ್ಡಿಗಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಆಗ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಹಣ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಲಾಭ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಆಗ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದು ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬಡ್ಡಿಯ ದರವೂ ಸಹಿತ ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವವನ್ನು ಬೀರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ನು 8ನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟು ಮನಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈಯರ್. Money multiplier is another important point in the determination of money supply. Money multiplier is related to credit creation of commercial banks. Money multiplier is related to credit creation of commercial banks. How commercial banks take steps to create money supply that will determine the supply of money in the economy. Money multiplier, also known as the circulation of money. Money multiplier describe how an initial deposits like fixed deposit, recurring deposits and what we call saving deposit leads to a greater increase in the total money is called money multiplier. I repeat, money multiplier describe how an initial deposits leads to a greater increase in the total money supply is called money multiplier. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 4 ರೀತಿಯ ಠೇವಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್, ರಿಕರಿಂಗ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ 1,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿ ನಾವು 1,000 ರೂಪೀಸ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ಆ 1,000 ರೂಪಾಯಲ್ಲಿ CRR ಮತ್ತು SLR ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಆ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅದು ಹಣದ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ seasonal factor. See, another important point in the determination of supply of money is that seasonal factor. See, seasonal factor means in some season the value of money will be supply of money will be increased. On the other hand, in another period of time the supply of money will be decreased. So during holiday the circulation of money will be less. During other days the circulation of will be more. So these are the some factors are influence on the supply of money in India. Okay, the next topic is high powered money or powerful money. High powered money or powerful money. We have already discussed various concepts in the first module, and we have understood one important thing with respect to financial system of India, that is, in India RBI is the only monopoly institution in the case of printing and issuing and circulating of currency which is required by the economic system. So here high powered money is related to the money which is printing and issuing by the Reserve Bank of India or the Central Bank of a country. Here high powered money refers to the money produced by the monetary authority of the country. That is called high powered money. High powered money refers to the money produced by the monetary authority of the country is the high powered money. I was telling you in the earlier videos that except RBI, no other institution, no government have right to printing and issuing of currency. RBI is the monopoly institution. RBI is the only institution have the right to printing and issuing of currency according to the demand of the central bank and according to the requirement of the economy. RBI will take the right decision regarding the printing and issuing of the currency. So what RBI is printing and issuing of currency towards the Indian economy is called high powered money or powerful money. So publics have no right to printing of currency. No institution, no organization, no state governments have right to printing and issuing of currency except the Reserve Bank of India in India. Here high powered money is the sum of commercial banks and other financial institutions and the government. So ಅಂದರೆ ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ಮುದ್ರಿಸಿ ಚಲಾವಣೆಗೆ ತರುವ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. RBIಯನ್ನು ಹೊರತುಪಡಿಸಿ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳು, ಯಾವುದೇ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು ನೋಟುಗಳನ್ನು ಮುದ್ರಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಚಲಾವಣೆಗೆ ತರುವಂಥ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾನ್ಯತೆಯೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಕೋಟಾ ನೋಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಕೋಟಾ ನೋಟುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಚಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮುದ್ರಣ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾರ್ಹ ಅಪರಾಧವಾಗಿರುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ಮುದ್ರಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಚಲಾವಣೆಗೆ ತರುವಂಥ ನೋಟುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್, ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ. ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ. 4 things are there in the components of high powered money. ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಸ್. ಜನರ ಬಳಿ ಇರುವ ಹಣವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದು RBI ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತದೆ. ಎರಡನೇದು, ಅದರ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ ಇಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅದರ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳು, ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದು ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್, ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಹಣ ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿರ್ತದೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳು ಸಹಿತ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ದ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್. ದ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ. ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ sources of high powered money. Sources of high powered money. The various sources are there in the high powered money. Their first one is Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India is the only important source in the case of high powered money than the other institution. Next, net foreign exchange in the RBI. Net foreign exchange in the RBI. See, RBI is considered as the custodian of foreign currency. Here RBI is the one important source high powered money. So next, government is another important source of high powered money. Government currency to the publics. Government currency to the publics is the third point. First point is Reserve Bank of India. So once again I repeat, sources of high powered money. There are 4 sources. First one is Reserve Bank of India. Second point is net foreign exchange in the RBI. Third point is government currency to the public. See, Finance Ministry of India, Finance Ministry of Indian government is responsible for printing 1 rupee note and also coins. This is another important source of high powered money. ಭಾರತದ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಸಚಿವಾಲಯವು 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನೋಟನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಾಯಿನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮುದ್ರಣ ಮಾಡುವ ಅಧಿಕಾರವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತದೆ. ನೀವು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, RBI 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನೋಟನ್ನು, 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಾಯಿನನ್ನು ಮಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಭಾರತ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಸಚಿವಾಲಯವು ಮುದ್ರಣ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಹೈ ಪವರ್ಡ್ ಮನಿಯ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು, ನಾನ್ ಮಾನಿಟರಿ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ Reserve Bank of India. Non-monetary liabilities of Reserve Bank of India. This consisting of pension fund, provident fund, national fund, employment fund, paid up capital, etc. All the things are there under the sources of high powered money. Dear students, in this video I covered briefly regarding the supply of money and high powered money. Go through the video. If you find out any mistakes, please call me directly or send me message. Don't have the hesitation. There may be mistakes in the video. There may be mistakes in the statement. If any mistakes, you meet me through the line or send me message. I will make the correction. Thank you.